So frequency tables are how often something happens. How often do you get a result? And you can use them in a frequency graph with has an XY axis to represent how often it happens, or some other ways. Sometimes values are grouped, like in a range from 0 to 9, and then from 10 upwards, and then from 20 upwards, before the graph is drawn, and then we can get a different type of graph. Half column width space is sometimes placed between the columns. We've done this before. Oh, maybe we haven't done it this year. So, actually, you want to leave some space between columns, and we'll see some examples of that, unless you're drawing a histogram. The, the dot plot is another way to represent frequency, and I'll show you that. And it's really useful to see the mode and some other measures of center. An outlier is something that's noticeably distinct from the other cluster of points. So if I were to take the frequency of the ages in our class, you guys would all be, there would be lots of representations of, say, 13 and lots of 14s. And then if we put my age in there, my age is so far out from you guys that it would be considered an outlier. So we're going to construct a dot plot. I'm going to cheat and use the one in the textbook for time. Construct a dot plot for the frequency table shown. So in this data, we've asked, presumably, how many people have no books? 2 people said that. How many people have 1 book? 5 people said that. So that's the frequency of that. So if I pop over to the text, we can see exactly those numbers shown on this dot plot. So we have 0 books all the way up to 9 books. So how many people have 0 books? There are those 2 dots for those 2 people. How many people had 1 book? There are those 5 dots for those 5 people. How many people had 9 books? There's 1 person. How many people had 8 books? There's no dots there, so there's no data there. So that should match up with what's happening here. There's no 5, 6, 7, or 8, and that's not on our dot plot. So we'll use our plot to find the most common number of books read. So that's pretty easy. It looks like the tallest column, there's 5 here, so that is the most common. And we also call that the mode. The next question was, use your dot plot to identify any outliers. Well, that makes it really painfully obvious that this 9 is the one that doesn't fit with the rest of the group. So that's the outlier from there. Now we're going to construct frequency graphs from these frequency tables, remembering that frequency is how many times we got the same result. So number of siblings, 15 people in this survey of the total number of people said they have none, 20 have 1, 13 have 2, and 2 of them have 3 siblings. So this one, we looked at our scale, and because of our numbers going to the numbers up to at least 20 people saying they have 1 sibling, so we want to make our graph go past 20. So the scale for the frequency on this y-axis goes up to 25 because it's just a little bit more than the top number. And we don't have anything more than 3, so we don't need to go any further than 3. And these are discrete numbers. If you're looking at the number of words in a story, this one has a whole huge range. So a story could have up to 99, from 0 to 99. That happened twice. If it's bigger, from 100 to 199, that happened 10 times. And we represent this on this kind of column graph there. So this is a range from 0 to, it says 100, but we know that's 99. And that line represents the next group at 100. And that is 10, frequency of 10 times. So we got stories between 100 and 199. So this represents a range. That's the only difference.